Hey, what's up, my fellow parents? Today we're going to tackle a very important, very serious topic because, let's be honest, it's pretty hard being a kid. Lots of stuff's going to go down. It's pretty hard being a teenager. Our kids and our teens are absolutely going to have trials. They're going to have troubles. We know this.
Yeah.
But here's the complicated part: is that the chances of our kids coming to us and saying, "Hey, mom, hey, dad, I'm really hurting inside, and I want to talk to you about it. I want to share it. I want some advice. I don't want to do this alone." Like, there is a chance that is going to happen to us, but there's also a chance that it's not going to happen. They're just going to kind of start like either acting out or withdrawing, or they're going to get caught, and we're going to discover that those signs is how we're going to learn that they're going through something, right, Jordan?
Yeah. I mean, and the hard part, sometimes those signs, they can be very difficult situations to be in, right?
It's like, been there, man, been there.
I bet. I mean, I know you have. I know you've helped people gotten through these hurdles. And we always say, like, whatever's going on in life, sometimes it's like this chapter of life or this season is difficult. And you try to look beyond, like, we know it's not going to last forever. But sometimes, dude, this moment we're in right now, it can be like it's taking forever to get through. Is this fixable?
Yeah,
Is my family ruined because of
Right.
it? Like, did I screw up my kid because of it?
And when those moments hit, because everyone, they are going to hit, you're going to be very emotional. I've been walking with parents for 27 years in those moments, and I've had those moments as a dad myself of 3 kids. So we want to do this episode for you, to support you, to give you tools, to give you scripts, so that you're ready for those moments.
Nice. So what we have is we've got 10 different little categories or like events that you have probably gone through. Maybe you're going through right now that we're going to bring up. I'm going to bring up, some of these popular ones that I've gone through, that other people have gone through, and we're just going to ask Sean, like, how do we get through them? And I'm just going to interview him and get his best take on these situations. The list could be 150, but we want to do 10 important, moments that we've probably all been battling or have in the past. And we're going to see, what we need to do, your best answer to these situations.
I'm ready. It's going to be
Okay.
a really, really fast-paced episode, because you could probably spend an hour on each of those episodes.
Oh,
but
easily.
The point is just to kind of get your mind thinking, because some of you are in these situations right now, and if you're not, you're going to be soon. So I want to get you ready for that. It's like this is your first responder training. You're getting ready
Right.
for the hard stuff.
So we're going to start off with the situation where, a lot of this comes when kids go from that fun, single-digit age, you're moving into the tween years or the teen years, and you have this sudden withdrawal with the family. Like, I can't tell you how many times where I get home and the kids used to be like, "Daddy, you're home," and they give me a big hug, and now it's like, "Where are my kids?" "Oh, they're in their room." Right? So I'm not saying that they're withdrawing from the family, but we've gone to that point where, like, the kids don't want to be around us anymore. They used to hang out and talk. They used to laugh with us. We used to play family games, and then now they're disappearing. They're too cool for us. We're dorky. It's not fun to hang out with parents anymore. I get that. It's a stage we all go through. But, I mean, what happens when this kid at any age withdraws from the family? Because it's hard on me, and I want to be there to help them, come back almost.
All right, here's some quick responses. Okay. Obviously, the first one to almost all these is to really manage yourself. Talk to yourself. Have mindfulness. Ask yourself, what am I feeling inside? What kind of emotions and fears is this bringing up for me? And then after you've done that, you really want to lead with curiosity. Okay, your kid is kind of withdrawing. They're not talking with you, family members, so you want to ask them, "Hey, are you okay? What's going on?"
But it's so hard for them to say anything.
That's right. So just let me get to that next. But first, you don't come in with the pep talk, a lecture. What are you doing? You're in your room all the time. What's happening?
Yeah.
You're not talking. Grandma and Grandpa are coming over. Why are you all on screens again? What is wrong with you? This is
All right.
what is going to be tempted to come out of our mouths, right? So curiosity is like asking genuine questions. Number 2, what you just said is very likely going to happen. They're going to say, "Nothing. I'm fine." Number 2 step. I guess this is number 3 step is be persistent. No, I need to know what's happening. Like,
Well, it's like nothing. I just want to be in my room. I just want to be alone.
okay, well, if that's the case, then okay, that's the case. But if there's something else going on, I need you to tell me. I need to know what's going on, because what you're talking about there is quite a challenge for us, because what's happening in their neurology and their natural development is that they do want to spend more time by themselves and away from you, away from their siblings, away from their grandparents. This is normal. So in that case, here's a quick tip. You want to say something like this. Look, I want to honor your boundaries. That's a big word. That's a pretty advanced way to talking to a teenager or a kid, but it's pretty normal. Yeah. It's like you're now teaching them what boundaries are by saying that. You're also reframing the relationship. Hey, I want to honor your boundaries. Like, you know, if you want to have some more alone time than you did before, that's totally normal. I love alone time. Yeah. But son, we've got to like figure out like a win-win so that you feel good and you get alone time, but we as your family feel good, because you having this withdrawal from the family, that's not going to work for me. Okay. That's not okay. So like we got to figure out a balance here. I care about you.
I want to be around you. Right. Like I miss you. Yeah.
Like you know, we're not. Let's say your son is 13. Like, hey, you're a teenager now, so that totally makes sense. You want some more alone time. That's cool. Let's figure that out. But just because you're a teenager and you want more alone time doesn't mean you're always going to get it. Like, you're a member of this family. This is what we do in this family. We spend time together. Yeah. We have dinners together. We talk. We share life. So this whole thing of you just like going into a cave for the next 5 years, that's not going to work for us. So we got to figure that out. Like, this is not okay. Do you see that firmness, but that kindness is in there? You like that? Good.
I do. I really do. Because sometimes kids don't know what they want, and they need good leadership. And sometimes me forcing them to be around the family, they could pretend they don't like it, but then deep down they're like, man, I'm really glad we did that dinner. I'm really glad we went to that theme park. You know, even though they're always too cool to do it. Yeah.
Some of the world's worst people are weird therapists. And I've heard so many really stupid stories of really bad therapists. And so many horrible bad therapists are like, yeah, just give him space. Yeah, just give her space. You know, you can't force it. Kids will be kids. I'm like, what are you talking about, you big dummy? Right. like your kid is 15. They should be present with the family, very active, very talkative, very involved. That's normal. All right, let's keep it going.
Okay, this has been something that always happens, right? Kids, I've got my kids doing chores, but sometimes I ask them to do the thing they do every single day, and they have crazy blow-ups about it. It's like, this isn't like out of the ordinary, bro. Like, you do this all the time. Why are you freaking out at me right now?
Right.
So these explosive reactions to maybe tiny things, what is up with that?
Okay, so this is, talk about a head game. On one hand, we got to be cool. We got to take a chill pill. We can't take these personally. We got to realize our kids have hormones. They've got good days. They've got bad days. My 9-year-old is so intense. She's doing cartwheels constantly through the house. She's bouncing off the walls. I asked her today, like, a simple question like, hey, would you like a straw in your water bottle? Because I'm making her water bottle before school. And she looked at me like I just killed somebody. She's like, yeah, why wouldn't I want a straw? Literally, it was so intense, man. I looked at my wife and I smiled, and it was like level 10 about a straw. Like, I should have assumed she wanted a straw, but I know her well enough that if I were to put a straw in there, why'd you give me that straw? Like, it's 8 in the morning. She's waking up, so it's like you gotta realize, like, this is a part of parenthood. Like, just chill out. Your kids are gonna be weird and explosive, and just because the circus comes to town doesn't mean you need to join it. So that's part of the good advice. Don't you agree?
Yeah, because in that situation, in my mind right now, I'd be like, fine, you can make your own damn lunch every day for the rest of this week, and I would have walked away. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I'm trying to be loving and helping you right now, and you're coming at me? Fine, you do it, you know?
So, yeah, part of being a good parent means you feel disrespected. Sometimes you let them explode at you. Sometimes you chill the freak out. Like, they're kids. You got to be the adult in the relationship, show them what a cool cat looks like and smells like. On the other hand, it's kind of like this. Like, hey, can I talk to you? You know, hey, I've just noticed that you've been really intense with me and with people. I want to talk to you about that. What's going on? Be curious. Is it your hormones? Is there something going on? And then in a similar way, it's kind of like this. Like, you want to frame yourself as the teacher. Like, it's my job to teach you and help you become a good person and help you with everything in life. So if you're struggling with your anger, it means I have to maybe start talking to you more about that. And we need to spend some more time about that. You might want to say something like this. Look, if I need to, I will discipline you. If you can't control yourself, I'm going to help you with that. And if I need to, I will use discipline, but I'd rather not.
Yeah.
See what we did there? Those are some good tools
yeah.
for that. So you're, again, firm and kind. You're being kind. You're being graceful. But then you're also having these intense conversations like, hey, like it kind of makes sense. I tell people in my VIP membership, like, if your kid is struggling in math, if you have the resources, you can go get them some math tutor or math support, right? So if your child is struggling with explosive reactions, don't just ignore it. It means you got to step up Joe Game and give them some more support, right? Instead of just like shaming them or yelling back at them, be quiet! Like, how dare you yell at me about a straw? I'm going to yell you about a straw. Like, you're going to match that energy? That's weird. Right?
Yeah, no, that's good. And we have to remember, too, the first thing you said was so important. The emotions in kids that are turning from a young adult to adult, there's so much going on in there. And sometimes we forget that. We're like, oh, yeah, let's just stop there. Let me just calm down and realize there's a lot going on in their body.
Even if it's a 16-year-old, they're acting out. You don't know what's going on. It could be they forgot to do their history homework. They're concerned about who's going to invite them to junior prom. They're really bummed because they have a pimple that's filming on their nose. Isn't that the worst when you're a teenager and you get a pimple right like Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer? I used to have that. All right, let's keep it going.
I'd get mine right next to the nose. Okay, so what happens when you have a student that's like super great at something, right? They're either they're a great athlete, they're a great artist, they're a great student, they're very kind, and yet all of a sudden, all this motivation that they've had goes away. Maybe their energy drops. Maybe their grades are starting to drop. It's almost like they're beginning to fail at something, so they just think like, well, if I don't care, it'll hurt. It won't hurt as much. So I don't care if I do homework. I don't care if I get an F. It don't matter to me. And they just don't care.
That one really, really pushes parents' buttons. A sudden drop in motivation,
right?
Or they drop their hobby that they did in
because
their
I
whole
know
life.
they care. Like, don't pretend you don't care. Well,
no, that's part of the.
You do care. Yeah.
No, that's part of the confusing thing of this. This is why this podcast is really important, because sometimes you're right. They really do care, but they're going through something. Or sometimes they just changed, man, and they don't care anymore. It's over. And the parents are freaking out because they're like, I don't want you to change.
Oh, that's true.
Like, how would you
feel? They don't like this sport they've done for their whole life. They've been playing basketball forever. Now all of a sudden they're like, I don't care about basketball anymore. And you're like, wait, what?
You're traveling for your son's gymnastic, and your daughter is in a play, and she's got a lead role. Can you imagine how hard that'd be if all of a sudden, out of the blue, they're like, nah, I don't want to go anymore.
That would be so different. Like,
you've invested
oh my gosh. You know what? Honestly, I'd be like, I'm free. Thank you so much. I can finally do things myself again.
Yeah, dude. Good honesty. Honestly, yeah, that's how we did feel a little bit like that when one of our kids wanted to quit sports. Yeah. But for the most parents, they're not like that, especially if I know. Someone's invested a lot of money into their sport and a lot of time, and their child is living out their childhood sport, right? So here's a couple tips for this, and I can give you so many tips for all of these. This is just a short little podcast. One is just really lead again with curiosity, like, what's going on? Is it you think you're in a mood, or are you going something? Are you really not into this anymore, or are you just in a phase? Number 2, you got to look into their diet, into their sleep patterns. Because if someone's lacking motivation, I mean, you got to think maybe this kid needs to change the diet, and you need to put more attention.
Important. That's something we don't think about sometimes.
Right?
That's good. Okay, that's really
Here's a really good one. Think of it the psychology of carrots and sticks. So that's how you motivate a donkey, giving it sweet, sugary carrots or hitting with a stick. So let's say if I could go back into a time machine and see myself like sophomore year, my motivation for things was totally low because I just didn't care anymore. I just wanted to hang out with my friends. But if I had a parent coming up to me and it's like, hey, what's going on with you in school? I'd be like, I don't know. Well, you don't really seem to care. Do you care? No. Do you care about going to college? Not really. Well, what's up with that? I really want you to care. Well, I don't care.
Right.
well, I want to make you care. Well, I don't care. You can't make me
there's
care.
something to be said. There's something to be said about this, because what if there could be a situation where the parents care more than the kids care in truthfulness, because we're hoping they get a free ride to college and we want them to care because I don't want to have to pay for it. Then it gets into that's not okay.
That's every situation. Parents always care more than the kids
I guess
about
you're
these
right.
things, right?
Right.
Name one scenario, like, it's super rare to be like, yeah, my kid, it does exist. My kid is so motivated for school. We're not even push school, but they want school. That does exist. My kid is so individually motivated for their sport. We're not even into it that much. That does exist. But here's a couple creative ideas for this. Is think about carrots and sticks. So if somebody were to come up to me like, all right, Sean, here's where we're at. I'll pay you for your grades. If you can earn this GPA, then I'll pay you cash. I'd be like, hello. Now I'm external motivation. Or, hey, here's what we'll do. You've been saving up to get a new car sound system in your 1986 Honda Accord, black, lowered, black rims. But I will buy that for you if you finish this semester with this GPA. I'll be like, dude, I'll be rocking.
Now you got the motivation
to be jamming up to friggin' Tupac and Biggie Smalls pretty soon.
That's so true.
Right? So now we have carrots are motivating me.
Right.
External carrots or sticks. Or some would say, look, Sean, I get it. You don't have the motivation. But if you don't finish this semester, with this GPA, then we're going to have to give you discipline. So see, now that is external motivation for me to be motivated.
Most people go
carrots
there
and sticks.
With that. Yeah.
Yeah, but carrots are so much better than sticks.
Oh, 100%.
Right.
That's why we go to work. That's why we have jobs. Like,
exactly.
We get paid. Like, we do this for the carrots.
But if your kid is living in a carrot factory, if you're raising your child in a carrot factory,
they get everything.
Why would they be motivated to do anything?
Why would they care?
Why would they care about being motivated? Because they already have everything you want. And, spring break's coming up. So they're going to be going to that tropical location. They got some new shoes. They got new outfits. They got a cell phone. They got this, that. Why would they care? And now you're complaining that your kid's not motivated. Well, because they're freaking overweight on carrots, right?
Yeah. So what do we do if we get on that phone and, they're obviously always on it? This is going to be a big topic that we could talk. We've had so many episodes on this, but like being on the screen so much, it's almost like they're escaping reality to be on that screen.
Oh, another tough one. Gosh, these are tough.
I know. And this could be very long, but is there an easy I literally just talked to a friend
I'll
at
give
work
you 1,000 tips for this. I actually have a free book that people can even read. It's called How to Break Screen Addiction and Stop It Before It Starts. I used to sell the book. I did very well, and I decided the book is just too important. So I give it away for free now on my website. You can go to get it right now on parentingmodernteens.com. Just click on that tab that says Screen Addiction. Here's a great little script out of 1,000 I could give. So daughter, we got you this screen, and we already talked with you about trust. So pretend to be a girl for a second. How do you feel like you're doing with the screen and trust? How do you feel like you're doing?
I feel like I'm fine. Like Rebecca and Samantha, they're on the phone like 8 hours a day. Like they're always on the phone, Mom. So like I do pretty good.
Great acting. Yeah, that's exactly what everyone's gonna say. Fine, I'm doing good. Yeah, you're the one who's got a problem, not me. Right. So here's a couple lines. Okay, one is we have to be able to trust you to manage your screen time and to keep our verbal agreement. And it doesn't. So can we trust you to keep this? Go ahead. That's your line.
I know. I'm thinking. I'm like, well, yeah, obviously. Like, I've been good. Like, I've only been on it. Like,
right. We don't feel like you're keeping this, your trust. And if we're going to continue to keep this current arrangement we have with screens, we have to be able to trust you.
Right, but like I have to go on to look at my schoolwork, right? So I have to be on the phone for that. And then my friends text sometimes and I have to respond to them or else they're going to hate me or talk smack about me the next day. So I have to do that.
See what she's doing here, she's making excuses. She doesn't really want to talk about trust. She doesn't want to keep the trust. She's just trying to manipulate and motivate to get her parents off her back. Don't you agree, Jordan? That's kind of what she was just doing. Yeah. So here's another great line. Like I said, I give you like 1,000. Here's like 2. Well, honey, your job is to limit yourself and to really live within the limits that were given you on your screens. Because if you can't keep trust and you can't limit yourself, if you can't manage yourself, then we are going to manage you. And we are going to step in with even more screen limits and more restrictions around screens. So we can't have you escaping into a screen or breaking our agreement. Do you feel like that was kind and firm?
That was kind. I just chatted with someone recently, and they are going to get their kids some screens for the holidays, and and they said they actually made a contract, like an actual contract. Like, hey, this is a contract between me and you, for a trust contract, and this is what the rules, and we're going to make sure that you guys abide by this, and if not, then you break the contract, and then the phones come away.
I hope that the kids keep their end of the contract, but more importantly, I hope the parents keep their end of the contract.
Yeah, of course.
Because most kids break screen contracts.
Oh, of course.
They do.
Yeah.
And the problem is that most parents, they don't follow through on their end. That's why most people don't use screen contracts anymore, because they don't really work, because they don't really reach the heart. Just like if you go to the pool, the public pool, you'll see that there's pool rules there. And you'll see that most people don't listen to them. Because most people don't listen to that. They just, the way you get someone to thrive with a screen is through the heart. So I hope that family does really well. Thanks for sharing that story.
So
What's
too.
number? All right, we're at number 5.
Yeah, number 5. So
scenarios.
this topic is kind of similar to one we've already talked about, where they snap out of the littlest things. But this one's like maybe just specific anger towards us parents out of nowhere, and it's constant. Like they're yelling at us all the time, and there's not as much love being shown. And I mean, I don't know what it is, but they attack us parents all the time. And what is that?
Okay, here's 2 tips for that. Okay, so anger towards parents. Here, 2 tips. Tip 1 would be to really humanize yourself to your child. Instead of reacting back, instead of giving a lecture, a cheesy pep talk, instead of saying, you can't talk to me that way, that's so stupid. As you might have noticed, it doesn't work. You got to help your child see, hey, when you speak to me this way, it really hurts my feelings, and it hurts our connection. I feel sad. I feel confused when you talk to me like that. Can you see how just humanizing yourself can really reach a child and a teen, Jordan? Can you see that?
Because they think you're rock solid. It's like that theory of like, well, I can't cry around them. I can't show them any weakness. I need to be strong. And then they think like, oh, they're a freaking punching bag. I could throw anything their way, and it ain't no big deal. I didn't know this was hurting you. I thought, I like your method better.
Yeah, well said. Tip number 2 is you could say, hey, did I hurt you? Is there something going on that happened between me and you today or last week, 5 years ago? Like, are you upset at me about something? And sometimes I call it it's a tool I teach in my membership. It's called trauma language. Sometimes the kids actually do have some built up resentment. And parents need to help that come to the surface and bring it into the light.
And obviously that might not happen with one question. You might need to keep prying.
You got to keep prying. Because if you know, you know. And if you feel like there's something in there, you can just tell. You got to keep prying. And prying. And you got to say things like, I know something's going on here between me and you. And it doesn't seem like you're ready to tell me. But I'm ready to listen. So when you're ready, please tell me.
I've seen on some of your social videos before where you say like, kids will scream at me or do things at me because they're actually comfortable with me. Is that in this idea at all? Like I'm their safe person, so they feel it's okay to do this, but I need to tell them like that hurts my feelings. You need to stop doing that.
I feel like a great response to that question is actually what you said about 30 seconds ago about how they don't know what they're doing. You are their person, right? And this is why this is another reason why gentle parenting is so ineffective, because it dehumanizes yourself. And so it's good to be kind, but it's also good to humanize yourself. Look, I know that. I know you don't mean the things you say. I know you love me, but I'm telling you, you can't talk to me this way. It hurts. And this is not what I want out of us. Where I don't hurt you, but you hurt me. Like, that's not what we're doing here, right? Yeah. That doesn't feel good. I need you to... Because, man, you are your kid's, like, safe pillow. That's cool. You want to be a soft landing for them. But you're also their teacher, you know?
Right.
I'm
All
really
right,
glad
what
you brought
about
that up. Yeah, let's keep it going.
I
What
was just
number are we
curious.
on?
Okay,
So
number 6. What happens when like I notice a lot of my kid has been hanging out with so many friends, and all of a sudden he's not or she's not hanging out with that many friends anymore? It's like, what happened to Sarah? Oh, and there's always excuses as to why they're not hanging out anymore. So it's almost like, are they losing friends? Do I need to be worried? Are they a loner? Are they a standout? Are they the bully?
dude,
Like, this is awkward because
so
I used to play
hard.
with so many people and not anymore.
That's a tough one for me personally. Had to go through that. Was my kids were like disappearing friendships or a friend breakup or their friends
Yeah.
aren't pursuing them. Oh, that one's really painful. Or like you feel like your kid's getting bullied. Here's a couple great tips for this one. Is really listening and getting your child to open up about what's going on with the friends. Don't give them any advice. Just listen and validate them. Let them vent to you about their feelings. Like if they don't talk to you about their loneliness, because that's kind of what we're talking about, loneliness, feeling
Right.
unwanted. They're not going to talk to anyone. It's not like they're going to go up to their best friend and be like, hey, best friend, so I'm feeling pretty
Right.
sad because my best friend, you, is
Right.
ignoring me and I'm feeling left out and you guys all went on vacation and I saw it on Instagram that you left me behind. So think about it this way. You're like the only one in the whole world, the parent, that a child will ever talk to you about their pain or their loneliness or their friend drama. So
And we
like,
feel that pain too. Like that hurts me.
it
That hurts my heartstrings.
so it hurts me so much. It tears me up inside. But I can't show that to my kids because then they may not want to talk to me about it because now I'm like part of the drama, you know?
Yeah. Okay.
But here's some
So
cool
we don't give advice though.
So we don't. We just listen. And if they want advice, they'll ask for advice. It's just
Okay.
it's just that you got to that's just a key part of this. Like this is their battle. They're friends, you know? You can't
Yeah.
solve it for them. I can give you solutions or some ideas on how to help solve it. But this is another cool thing that I learned from COVID. I like talking about this on this show. Like during COVID, my kids' friends got stripped away. You know, we were all on Zoom. And some kids, they really thrived through COVID because the family really bonded and stayed close. So remember, parents mean more than friends. Parents need to meet more than friends. So when your kids are going through a tough friend season, step up as a parent and really be there for them.
That's really wise. Okay, thank you. This one goes a little deeper than one of the ones we were talking earlier about, like avoidance or always going to the room but like what happens if they're not only just trying to stay away from the family a lot, but they're completely avoiding conversations, family meals. That's an easy one. They can skip out on that. They can make excuses for that all day. But even eye contact, right? Like,
jeez.
is that something that is a little bit more like, okay, there's something up here, and I've been trying, and I'm not getting anything in response?
I mean, that's a pretty big red flag.
Yeah.
It's also a red flag if someone's like not wanting to go out, don't want to go to school, they don't want to go to church, they don't want to hang out with friends. These are red flags. And
But like you said earlier, it's like sometimes we just force them to do some of these things.
I think it's like go back to the advice I gave on number 1. A lot of curiosity, a lot of listening, and then you in a firm way saying, this is not okay. I'm not going to sit back and like let you just like avoid eye contact, avoid conversations. Like this is not working for me. I love you too much to sit on the sidelines of this. I'm going to get involved and I will use my power and my interventionary methods to not make this the normal. Because if you make that the normal because you get so confused, because you don't know what to say, you don't know what to do, maybe you're scared you're going to make it worse, then you just brought a big problem into your house. Now you have a child or teenager, and this is how they normally live. And then you'll be on the phone with me, and we'll have to undo that problem.
Yeah. I like what you said. You said two things that were a little like, that was very forceful, what you said, but I think it was needed. One was, I'm not going to allow you to do this, which I'm like, whoa, that's like me saying a parent, like, you better not. But then you also followed up and you're like, I love you too much to allow you to do that. So now you're allowing me as a teen to understand why you're being so hard on me.
Yeah,
I like
look,
that.
here's a common situation we see a lot in my membership. Family moves to a new city,
Yeah.
and child or teenager has no friends in the new city.
Right.
So the child, teenager, is spending more time on screens than they normally would because they're
Sure.
hanging
Well,
out with their
yeah.
old friends.
Yep.
1 week turns into a month turns into 2, turns into 6 months, turns into a year. Kid's been in the new city for a year, has still no new friends, not really trying, and they got a big problem now. It's been a year.
Okay.
They should not have done that. They should have said in the first, hey, it's been 2-3 weeks since we've lived here. You haven't really gone out much, but we're not doing that here. You are not going to be hiding in a screen or in your bedroom in our new city. That's not a win-win. So I'll step in and do something if I need to, but I need you to get out there, get your butt out there, and make some friends.
Okay, that's good. That goes back to when I remember I say this a lot. When
I
when
love
my
this
wife's
story. I know the
dad
story you're going to say.
Sends her out. Like,
tell the
go
story
knock
again.
on.
Tell
she
the
was
story.
like 5. No,
Your
she was
wife.
like 5.
Your wife.
Yeah, my wife at that time. She was like 6 or 7. I can't remember. She was young, and he was like, "Hey, you're gonna go knock on all these doors, and you're gonna find a new friend." And he would walk with her, but he would stay on the sidewalk. And literally, my wife at that age had to go to door. Hi, do you have a little girl that I can play with? Next door. Hi, do you have a little girl I can play with? Literally just door to door to door. And then she found a friend, and they're still friends to this day. But she wouldn't have met her if her dad didn't force her to do
Such
that.
an amazing story. Amazing.
Yeah.
And also, your wife, we both agree, she's not just talented with people. She's extremely talented with people. She's extremely good with people. And she's extremely likable.
is.
And you have to assume that part of that is her natural, God-given character. But you have to assume that that teaching element when she was 5 or 6, that probably taught her something, like that courage.
100%. Can you imagine? Have you ever been in like a speech debate class where you like have to go up and give a speech in front? No one likes doing that. Like you could pretend you like to talk in front of a bunch of no one. That is so embarrassing.
Yeah.
But you learn over time to do it, and this is the same thing. Learn to talk to people. Hi, how are you?
Exactly.
Like it's so fun watching my little kid with Down syndrome right now talk to kids that are typical and be like, "How are you? How was your day? How was school?" And I'm like, this is so cool watching him learn how to communicate.
Yeah.
Because he's not a great communicator, and he's learning from everybody else. And he's learning how to talk. It's the coolest thing. And a lot of these kids don't know how to talk because they're on their phones.
They're on their phones. And their parents, their teachers, they're not ushering into it. They're making excuses. My daughter's school, she's in 4th grade. She has to do like an oral presentation in front of the whole class. I think once every 2 months. Every kid. And listen to this. After she's done, because the parents are allowed to come and watch their kids do it too, because they do
That's cool.
like 5 a day. So then they ask all the kids to raise their hands and to give the speaker some positive feedback about what they liked. And the teacher writes it on the board. Shout out to you, Miss Heather. And then
That's cool.
they ask everybody, including the adults, give her some feedback. What could she have done better and differently? And the hands all shoot up, and they give critical feedback.
That's amazing.
And it's
at
just
that age.
It's the new normal. So they don't take it
very
personally. They
healthy.
don't freak out, and it's like it's incredible to watch that. It's just so good.
Yeah.
Okay, let's move on. So we've
Okay, we have
talked
3
about
more.
7 things. We got 3 more to go. Hard things
Okay.
that are going to happen.
This one, a lot of us have gone through sleep changes, right? So, like, if you're noticing the kids are sleeping at different times of day, different times, length, obviously they're going through situations where we're growing and you've got hormones, as we were talking about. So sometimes they get sleep for a very long time. But I've talked to people where they're like, yeah, it's 2 o'clock in the afternoon. They're still in bed. I'm like, they're still in bed at 2 o'clock in the afternoon? What the heck?
2. Right, but if they were in bed at 11, if they were getting up at 11, would that still be as concerning?
11? No.
Right.
Because kids can sleep in. But at 2, I feel like if you wake up at 2, that means you probably didn't go to bed till like 4.
Exactly.
Right.
So there's 2 sides of this coin, and we all need to be very familiar with each side. On one side of the coin is all the science that teenagers, they like sleeping. They like staying up late. They like sleeping in. This is normal. So if your kid wants to stay up late till like 11 or 12 on the weekends and they're in high school and then wake up at 11, that's normal. There's nothing wrong with your kid. That probably pushed
Okay.
your buttons. I know numerous parents that have gone into their kids' bedrooms on a Saturday morning at 9 o'clock, said, "What are you doing with your life? You're wasting your life."
Well, the hard time too is because we go to bed, so I don't know what time they're going to bed. I trust that. I say, hey, you
Yeah.
can't go to bed past 10:30. I need you to go to bed at 10:30.
Yeah,
And I don't know
yeah.
if they did or didn't.
We let our 9-year-old have a flashlight in her bedroom so she could
Yeah.
read at night, because that's a great skill to be reading. But
Yeah.
we recently found out, and she kind of told us that she's been staying up late, so we removed the flashlight and because
Yeah.
she can't manage
Yeah.
herself, so we have to
Right.
manage her. So you got to understand, like, your teenager, it's normal for them to want to stay up late on the weekends with their friends, watching movies, playing games, talking, and then wake up at 10 or 11. Don't you agree?
Yeah.
And especially if they play sports, then I mean, these kids are waking up at 6:30 in the morning to go to high school, and they get
Right.
1 or 2 days a week to sleep in.
That's true. I'm my kid's same way. So I am actually like, yeah, some days it's like, hey, we have an off day, sleep as much as you want, because I know how busy life can get. All right, what about
And then hold
when
on, and
you're-
then the other
Go ahead.
hand of it though is like, we have to echo what you just said. If your teenager is sleeping in past 11, that means that they are up
Constantly.
on screens at 2 or 3 in the morning, and you are enabling that. You are allowing that. They can't manage themselves, and you're now complaining about it because you haven't put in proper restrictions, or you're letting your kids hack around your restrictions, and you're still giving them a phone. Somebody who's just defiant and not doing what they need to be doing, which is going to sleep. And now you're letting your child sleep in. Now there's a fine line. That's where the line is. Let's move on.
video games, screens, computers, all that. Okay. This is going back to the conversation. We only have 2 left, but like simple one-word answers, like when we ask about their day, we're trying to get info out of them, but they're just these kids don't want to. They don't know how to. They don't want to talk all day. I mean, they don't want to tell me some things, but like if it's just like good, fine, how did it? Great. Okay, well, what did you? Yeah, well, no big deal. It's like just simple. How do I go deeper? Sorry, I keep tapping. How do I go deeper? And to be like, no, like, please tell me more.
Yeah, that could be a problem. Like you're just asking, trying to connect, and they're not talking to you. They're shutting down.
Yeah. Yeah.
Here's a couple tips for this one. Hey, I can tell, like, when I ask you about your day, sometimes you really don't want to talk. There's like no answers, or they're one-word answers. Have you noticed that? Pretend to be a teenager for a second.
Yeah, because I'm tired.
Right.
I've been talking all day. I'm tired.
That makes sense. So can we figure this out together? Because I don't want to force you to talk. Especially like, we just got out of school, or you're just done with practice. So I want to like honor your boundaries in your space, but I want to hear about your day a little bit. So can we figure out a plan in a way, like a win-win? So like you can share with me a little bit every day.
I mean, what do you want to know?
You already know what I want to know. I want to know about your day.
My
your
day was
life.
great. It was boring. Same thing as yesterday. Same thing. Nothing happened.
No, and that's not what I'm looking for. That's not cool with me.
Well, what do you want to know?
I want to know details about your day. You don't need to
okay.
you don't
Well,
need to.
Sarah broke up with her boyfriend, and then I had lunch.
Yeah, stuff like that. Just like give me this. Can we figure out a time where 10 to 20 minutes every day, whether it be around the dinner table, or you could pick the time. It doesn't have to be on the right after school. Maybe at night. This is the type of relationship I want to have with you. If we're going to go through life together, you share your life, I share your life. That's what I'm looking for. Does that sound okay to you?
I guess.
Is that too much to ask? That we connect?
It's just
Because for me, like, this is what we talked about. Like, if we're going to give you these screens, if we're going to pay for all these things to help you, make you happy, which is great. We love doing that. Well, these are things that make me happy.
yeah.
Hearing about you.
One thing I learned is when I ask them about a topic that they like, they'll jabber all day. I'm like, man, I can't shut that kid up.
Yeah.
Right? But if it's something that like, how was lunch? How was the teachers? Your teacher nice? Do you have any quizzes? Like, they're just like, blah. But if I'm like, dude, I saw this video on Instagram, and did you know? And then they'll
Yeah,
then
that's
they'll
good.
open up. So maybe find a topic that they're
Great
interested
advice.
in, and they'll just start. Oh yeah.
Because you might be the type of parent, and you actually really like talking about your kids' math, and you like talking about your kids' history. But there's a good chance your kid doesn't like talking about those things.
Right.
So they like talking about fun things like you just mentioned. That's a really good tip. So
Dude,
figure
I saw
out
the
good
craziest
topics.
AI video today. Be like, really? Like, yeah, this gorilla was taking on 100 men or whatever. You know, and they might be like, oh, yeah.
That's really good advice, man. That's really good advice. So going silent about your day, it's all about finding a win-win that works for both of you guys.
Yeah.
Well said. All right, we're up to
Last-
number 10. Number 10
last tip,
concern.
less concern, last topic here is when a smile feels very forced, very fake, too perfect. And we've all been in this situation because everybody lives for the gram. It's like, you smile for me, right? But sometimes when I'm talking to my kids, I can tell that what they're putting on their face is not really what's going on the inside.
Here's a couple tips for that.
It's poker face.
Yeah. So one is obviously you want to lead with curiosity. Is everything okay? What's going on? Number two, they may not want to tell you because they're 7 years old or they're 17.
Right.
So you could say, look, it seems like something's going on, but so if you don't want to talk right now, that's okay. You know, but when you're ready, I'd love to hear about it. Or say, hey, all right, seems like something's going on, but you don't want to talk. All right, that's fine. But I'm going to ask you about this later today, and I really want to know what's going on. So you see that kind of this theme of this episode: kindness, curiosity, persistence.
Persistence. That is going to be big. Well, thank you for helping us with all these topics. I mean, there's so many more we could talk about, but I would just want, these are some really popular ones that a lot of us have gone through. And I don't want it to get to a point where like it gets so bad to where we feel like we can't fix it. And if we can't, then obviously we can go to you.
Hey, thank you, man. Thank you. Let's do a little recap for everybody listening. All right. Shall we do that?
Sure.
All right. Here are 10 signs you need to look for that if your kids are doing these, you might want to be concerned. Or if your kids are doing these 10 things, then you really need to, if your kids are doing these 10 things, then you need to spend more time with this kid and find out what the heck's going on.
That's right. You want me to do one? You want to do number one?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay, so sudden withdrawal from the family, right? They used to hang out and be with us all the time, and now they're just wanting to do their own thing. I get it. Sometimes that is the stage where they need some personal time, but we need to come to them and be like, hey, you get your personal time. That's totally cool. But there's also time for you to be around us, and that's what's got to happen.
Sign number 2, explosion to tiny things. Yeah, kids are hormonal, they are emotional, they can explode, but if you have a repetitive pattern of this in your home, you need to connect with that kid and find out what's going on.
Right. Oh, how about a sudden drop in motivation, right? A sudden drop in energy, their grades are going down. Something's going on that we need to make sure that we stay in tune with. I know life can be tough for these kids and they go through different stages of life, but if we're noticing motivation is starting to go down, it could be something as easy as their sleep schedule or their diet, but we've got to stay in tune with that.
Sign number 4, escaping into a screen. These screens are like drugs and even worse because they can change their minds. Do not let your child escape into a screen. Figure out what's going on. Change that.
Good. How about anger towards us, the parents, right? Out of nowhere, they're snapping at us all the time. Like, we need to make sure that they know that, like, we have feelings too. Like, it hurts my feelings when you snap at me, right? So that they understand that, like, that's not okay.
Sign number 6 is disappearing friendships. This is really common. Your kid is having problems with their friends. When that happens, really listen to them, really connect and be there for them because you are the only person that can actually help them and comfort them and be there for them since their friends aren't there.
How about number 7, avoiding eye contact, avoiding conversations, family meals, not coming to the table when we are all supposed to be together. There could be something happening on a deep level here that we need to make sure that they're emotionally staying strong, because if not, it could turn into a really bad situation.
Sign number 8, you see big changes in their sleep patterns. Yes, teenagers like to sleep more. They like to stay up late and wake up late. But if you're seeing a lot of weirdness around their sleepness, check in with them and find out what's going on.
What about when they go silent when you ask about their day? Like, sometimes they just don't want to talk. If you can find a topic that they're interested in, they're going to be chitter chatter bugs all the time. So sometimes when you ask about their day, get into something that you know that they're going to talk about so that they actually share how their day's actually going.
And sign number 10 is when you see that your child is kind of faking it. They're kind of people-pleasing you. They're kind of avoiding something. When that happens, do not just accept their fake happiness, but dive in and check in with them and find out what the true person is going through. Those are our 10 tips, everybody. Thanks so much for letting Jordan and I be a part of your life. We love you. Thanks for listening. See you next time.